Dearly beloved friends and family, welcome back to another episode of Behind the Build. Today we have a very special guest. We have Edwin with us. In today's topic, we'll be talking about the middle class in Singapore and why it feels like it's disappearing and how it affects our life. And I think you have lived longer than us, so you have a longer statistics. You can tell us about your experiences throughout the years.
No, okay, but first of all, I think what is counted middle class to you?
What is considered middle class? Okay, I would say we earn a good income and we start small. For example, we get a HDB house when we're younger, right? And then we think about moving out of it. So maybe affording a condo after that. And, if we work a bit more, we can send our kids to good schools and hopefully upgrade to another bigger house after that. But basically, we work all the way, right? So what's your idea of middle class then?
Wow. My definition of middle class, I will assume those like me staying HDB, then after earning, I would say total household income, maybe say 11, 12,000 around there.
You? What's your idea of a middle class person?
I guess like what you mentioned, but maybe not only HDBs, but I think there are a lot of middle class in the condos also and ECs. Yeah. And I think they earn a decent household income, but just nice for all the expenses.
Yeah. So not much left goes to, for example, saving and investments, right? So, but that is actually the portion that lifts people out and gives us mobility, lets us climb that ladder, right? So, like I said earlier, we're going to work forever. And then according to these countries in Southeast Asia, for example, there are reports that there are growing middle classes in Thailand, Vietnam. However, for us first world countries, we do feel like it's slowly disappearing for us. And this pattern has been repeated since the 1600s. Like the Dutch people had it, right? They had the British Empire, it was like that. And I think America is also facing a very thinning middle class population. So they start to have social unrest. We have people losing faith in their system. Then you have pro-left, pro-right, and then now you're creating a lot of issues and tensions. Right, you see? And we look at affordability, let's just say for public housing. So during your time when you first bought your first house, what was the cost like?
A 3-room was like 150,000 at Holland. And then a 4-room, 200 plus, low 200 even actually.
So when you look at the prices these days, right, do you feel like a doomsday feeling of how the next generation is going to afford housing, public housing per se?
I think now with the new BTOs, with all the stringent criteria, I think it's a bit more difficult. But just maybe a year or so ago, I think with all the government grants, they could still afford their first BTO. And that's why a lot of them try to apply for that BTO before they actually even get a job, maybe when they were still studying, so that they get even more grants. Yeah.
But
yeah.
No, sorry, you continue.
But I think now if new criteria add on, you can't really profit that much from your new BTO anymore.
But this is in terms of new couples applying for BTO. But what about in terms of the resale market? Because BTO, yes, there's a lot of restrictions going on now, especially those that MOP 10 years. And then after that, they'll control the regulation of things so that people end up don't mark up or sell too fast or sell too high. But for resale value, how do you think the market these days for resale would affect the next generation down the road?
I'm not a property agent, but I would say that nowadays the resale flats, even like a 4-room flat, can be 700,000 ish. And for some reason, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not really sure, but I think for some reason Yishun is a bit lower than the rest.
I wonder why.
So we look at houses, say 150K to something we have right now, 450, 500, 600 even. And you see the difference is so much, right? It's more than 3-4 times. But if you look at the income ceilings that were given to us for public housing, I think in the 1994, it was about 8,000 for new flats, generally across the board. And today is now at 14,000. So these kind of salaries that we have now, 14,000 used to be a lot, right, in the past. Yeah, and it's not even a 2 times jump, almost a 2 times jump. But prices for houses have jumped more than 2 times. So even people in our generation, we all have issues affording a better quality of living because a lot of it goes to the house. And it was like an American dream. It was like being sold as home ownership, you know, and of course everyone wants to send their kids to better schools, and those cost more, better healthcare. And I have friends complaining that even baby bonuses are not enough to fully cover the hospital stay. Not like we expect it to be, but support does end after a while. And it's always the maintenance of the family after that that really tightens its grip on your neck. And if you don't have a dual income family, it's going to be quite tough, I would say. But then again, if 2 people are working, we are outsourcing the upbringing of kids, which I don't feel is a good thing. Yeah. Like back then, my parents could afford 1 person breadwinner, and at least we had our mother. We still had values being passed down to us, family values, kept within, like. Okay.
So, how much do you think is sufficient to survive in Singapore?
I personally feel just to survive normally, nothing extravagant, a household of 3 or 4 would easily require at least $10,000 a month just to survive normally. If you look at having children, you have better pray that your child is good
Yeah.
It's good in the studies, okay? Because if not, tuition fees is crazy.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and then if you're going to send them for other things like music and all that, that adds to the cost. And now the world is so competitive, so every parent also will want their child to be all-rounder, you know, not just in terms of studies.
Multi-skilled, outstanding. Now everyone got dual jobs as well.
Yeah.
So, is it true there's this saying that an average spending on a child all the way till he or she reaches university, the average spending is about 500,000.
Okay. I have children also, but I never calculated because if I was going to calculate, I don't think I want any kid. But I can just say that as a parent, you would always want the best for your child, right? So, but it adds up a lot of costs actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I heard the 500,000 is excluding having skills or talent or even lessons like piano lessons, guitar lessons, musical, or even arts. So this is apart from all the other recreational activities. So this is just purely from young all the way to university for education and maybe expenses.
I guess so because I'm not really sure on the figures, but I know that some childcare centers is average maybe 1,000 a month. So you just imagine from 1 year old, 1,000 a month without any other like art class or anything. So yes, I believe it's, if you're going to count everything, it's going to be a few 100,000. And that's only for one child. And you're not even taking into consideration food, and clothing.
So potentially it could also be 1 million.
I think yes. I mean, if it maybe that's why some people not having kids. If they're really going to work out the cost, you're going to drown.
Adopt lah, don't.
That's why people are so-called adopting kids in terms of cats and dogs.
No, but adopting, you still have to take care of his or her educational life as well.
You get to skip the nappies and milk powder and jump straight to textbooks.
That depends on how old you start the adoption.
Okay, so essentials is what we all have to spend on. And if you look at it, food, the main thing. But then again, why do we see a lot of food establishments shuttering up? And if they are shuttering up, what is the consumers focus on right now? Cooking at home? Taking more time off? See how it affects us? It literally changes the way we live. And even car ownership is quite a distant away for a lot of people. And we all believe we can all share a car for sure. But if there's any emergencies, like we always worry about, my kid studying in this school in the west, my other kid studying in that school in the east, both of them have something going on at the same time, emergency, then what's going to happen, right? So it takes away a lot from us, not just the money, time, and essentially it feels like a cycle that we cannot escape, and it's just going to be worse, right? And then we have jobs being taken away by automation, AI. I'm sure this has been like that since the beginning of time. When during the industrial age where we have factories, right, a lot of physical labor has been phased out. And since today is such a fast-moving society, I don't think we can upskill fast enough to catch up, for a normal person. So affordability then becomes even worse right now. So how does consumer spending change in a tightening middle class? So we always hear the saying, people these days, we rather spend money on experiences rather than physical material. Right? So how experiences do you think people spend on and value?
For myself, right, I think, let's go like different aspects. For example, travel.
Yeah.
I would say that maybe they will be going more regional. So that's why Thailand and now even Vietnam is becoming very popular. Instead of like last time, you go to Europe or the States. So I think this is one aspect. And staycations. Staycation is an even cheaper way. And of course, going over across the causeway where you multiply your spending by 3 times. Now it's getting lower.
No drop.
Yeah, but still it helps. It helps. And people need a break,
So Singaporeans become birds when we travel overseas. Cheap, right? If I'm not wrong, okay, when we were younger, we went for family holidays, right? If you go to Europe, right, I think it's minimum 30,000 for a family of 6. It's quite crazy because your flights is 4,000 plus accommodation, and the rest is all spending.
What's the duration of the holiday?
I would say 11, 12 days. Yeah, 30,000 is a minimum already. But if a family trip like that to Bangkok, maybe 8,000, would it be? Safer bet.
Depending on what you eat as well.
Yeah.
Like, recently, I've been to Bangkok. And I think one of the restaurant, because Bangkok, or at least in Thailand, they are famous for the crab omelette.
Right.
So one of the restaurants was selling their crab omelette for 80 Singapore dollars.
That's the Michelin one, right? Is it?
I think
that
so.
old lady.
I don't think it's the old lady one, but there
Oh,
was one
okay.
in one of the atas mall that we went to, a bit
Okay.
like Singapore's Paragon, that
Right,
kind.
right.
80 Singapore dollars in Bangkok. That is very, very high. But because something told us $80 must try. So we tried. But yeah, in the end it was like
So I guess this is one aspect of experience.
yeah.
So you were mentioning.
But there's another one, I think in terms of value and experience wise. There's this article they're saying that actually during COVID, because a lot of people cannot travel, and then with the whole everything expenses all getting very high. Yes, the cost of living, everything are increasing, and people are not willing to spend on, say, luxury items. But surprisingly, cosmetic, all this were actually going up. So the spending for citizens or for people, instead of spending it on holidays, all this which they can't, the only way of control and to make themselves feel better, right, was to actually go and buy all these cosmetic. So during that period of time, COVID, the sales increase for cosmetic actually went up.
Right.
Yeah.
Even though they're not leaving the house.
Yeah.
So it just appear on camera.
It's actually make themselves feel that empowerment that they have the money to go and spend
Retail
on something.
therapy lah.
Yeah.
I
And
think
to make yourself feel better.
some form of retail therapy, and also I think to add on to that, I think that period where we saw a boom in the number of gyms opening also. So people will want to spend on health and beauty.
Correct.
I guess, and they try to make it more affordable. That's why, unlike previously, like gyms were like quite exclusive and quite expensive. Now it's like everywhere and more affordable for the masses.
This used to be California Fitness, right? Jackie Chan, right?
Yeah, and Planet Fitness.
And now it's
it's
like everywhere. You mentioned convenience.
Yeah.
So even in our industry, because we're all in the building industry, in case your viewers don't know, I do see more F&B changing hands, and the new tenant doesn't change up anything. Probably just paint a different color, put a different signboard, and then we have some. We don't really get to do much things for them, and this is one of the things. So we look at it as more of maintenance versus new build. So we got a lot more queries of people. Hey, I just want to do up my shop front. I just want to make this place look nice. You know, the rest of it I don't want to do too much. Do you face that as well?
I guess there will be different kind of clients. If there must be a reason why the previous business had to sell their business. So, and then somebody just take over wholesale. So if it was a profitable business, then yeah, maybe some repair maintenance. But if it was not a profitable business, then I guess that's where we come in also. Be it residential or retail. I guess everyone has a ideal design in mind, ideal look, but everyone also has a budget. And that's where we come in. I would like to think of ourselves more as a consultant than just a designer. So we should propose to them ideas. For example, you see like the last couple of years, a lot of F&B outlets, we do some Instagrammable. It's more Instagrammable so that people will come to their place to just take some photos when they're eating there. And then even like those aesthetic clinics, the waiting area got to be like really impressive. And even then also they have certain Instagrammable spots also. So I guess that's where we come in. And of course, based on their budget, the client's budget, how do we get the best feel and design with the budget available?
I think one of the things that you mentioned, you hit it spot on. While consumer spending for essentials is resilient, luxury less, but healthcare is always there, right? So, like you mentioned, the aesthetic clinic, you selling aesthetics. Like, for example, if I'm an interior designer and my house looks like not so ideal, how do I then have the credentials, right? You have to showcase your craft. And it all starts from the heart, internally and at home, right? So in recent days, clients, when you mention about home, we've been seeing smaller and smaller tickets. So what that means is only essential spaces, only essential upgrades. Aesthetic wise, unless it's really out of the question, it's dirty, moldy, then we will be requested to go and do up the whole place. But we do see a drastic drop in spending.
Mm-hmm.
Take our most recent project, for example. What the client got a new place, also didn't do everything, right?
No.
Yeah. So what are the essentials there that were?
Mainly hacking away one wall, then increase the area for their kitchen. Existing kitchen cabinet remain. They just do up a new pantry area. Then the essentials of wardrobe in the bedrooms. Even the toilets, as long as they are in usable condition, sure, just change the toilet bowl, change the basin, mirror, that's it. Yeah.
How about your experience?
Yes, they need to just convert the space to suit their needs and requirements. So, like he mentioned, as if let's say the toilets are still usable, then they will try not to maybe change the tiles and all that. They try to just upgrade a bit, and that's for resale. But of course, like you said, there are some where it's so bad condition, so they probably bought it a little bit cheaper, and then they use the excess budget to do up to something more that suits them. And then if you talk about BTOs, I see that a lot of people are looking to do just the bare minimum so that they can stay there for 5 years and hoping to double up when and sell and let go, you see. And hopefully maybe downgrade, or some want to downgrade, some aiming for ECs, some looking to rent out and stay in Johor.
What do you think are the chances of houses doubling after the 5-year MOP?
Very high.
Very high.
Based on historical data, I think it's high, but now I do not know. Right, it's very hard to say what will happen in the future. And then with the new rail going to Johor, I'm not sure how it will affect. Will it make it more convenient for people to stay in JB? I'm not sure. Then will property prices be affected or rental drop? I'm not sure.
So when you get a ballot, right, HDB should give you the disclaimer, right? Past historical values is not a reflection of future values.
No, I think if the train services start to happen, a lot of Singaporeans will go over for essential needs. Now the only concern is because not everybody has vehicle, not everybody has car, and to be able to get your essentials in Malaysia and then taking the bus back or the current train back, it's quite a hassle. So imagine with that train service going on, right, where it becomes so convenient, it's basically like taking an MRT over. Do you think it will affect the way, first of all, essential costs in JB, which is already high, but a lot of Singaporeans can't really go down there because of the currency conversion rate? So that is one. Second is, how do you think it actually affects the way Singaporeans buy essentials in Singapore? Because everybody is just going to go over. It's so convenient. So how do you think it actually affects both sides?
I'm not sure how convenient it will be, but if it is going to be convenient, I think a lot of people will want to either buy or rent a condo in Johor so that they get the lifestyle that they only dream of in Singapore at a fraction of the cost. Yeah.
Wait, so you take the train, 15 minutes, go to RNF, and then you rent the condo there, and then you're looking at Singapore. Hey, that's my workplace.
But you get to live in a condo.
I've been to the condos. They're not too shabby. Quite alright.
There's
For
one opening up just 1 km away from Singapore only.
RNF has phase 3 and phase 4 that is currently still in construction and planning respectively. And yeah, we're preparing for the RTS.
Yeah, that one is really, it will be very convenient. I think, I would presume the entire block, right, 90% will be Singaporeans.
Right. If I'm not wrong, right now the main demographic is Chinese.
Yes. Then there's
so
also the other.
This also ties down to the topic of the Johor Singapore Special Economic Zone, where I think the government is trying to give us more opportunities in a country where the cost of running operations is much lesser, and you also get, I think, tax relief on per staff. Right. For example, in Saru, we have farming. So finally, we can achieve our dreams of becoming farmers. At least the farmers won't hold the vegetable won't hold your payment. Yeah, there's also aerospace, defense, IT. A lot of land is going to be available for us. So to our viewers out there, if you want to consider, I wouldn't say a slower pace of life, but the easier way of operating and producing goods, we finally have land. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.